Alrighty, we were back. Obviously, it looks like I'm in a completely different fucking place. A lot has happened in the last few weeks. I have disappeared for several weeks already. Someone I know was murdered. As you can see, I got a new office here. So this was under construction and it literally just finished. And I found out that it's a weird way of putting it. And John Mulvehill, I'm going to read through my notes because it's going to be much easier. See up here. John Mulvehill, who used to be known as John Anthony Lifestyle on YouTube until he was banned last year by YouTube for violation of YouTube's policies on harassment and cyberbullying. He flew thousands of miles all the way to Peru to try to sue me. Are you insane? Who fucking, just imagine. Fucking imagine this. Can you imagine you going to the airport, getting on a plane, buying a fucking plane ticket in the first place? You wait at the airport, go through security, go to another country, fly thousands of miles for me. Now, women have done this before, but they didn't do it to try to sue me. They did it to have sex with me or to be with me, spend time with me, to live with me. But this is the first time a man has flown thousands of miles for me. Or actually, technically, no. But the first time a man has flown thousands of miles to try to sue me in a country he doesn't even live in. What the fuck? Are you stupid? You cannot make this up. So anyway, I'm just going to continue reading from my notes because I'm going to go off the fucking rails big fucking time on this shit. Again, let me repeat this because it is fucking insane. He literally flew thousands of miles all the way to Peru just to try to sue me. He hired Peruvian lawyers and everything. And long story short, and I'll go through lots of stuff about this, he fucking lost. So that was a waste of his fucking time, a waste of my fucking time. But I'm getting way ahead of myself here. He literally, John Mulvehill, who used to be known as John Anthony Lifestyle before being banned on YouTube last year, went to the Peruvian court to claim that I committed a crime against his honor. I can just imagine the laughter that's coming from this. Against his honor. Do you remember the stuff he used to do? He demanded $350,000 and a prison sentence that I serve prison time in Peru. It's worse. It gets so much worse. For the alleged crime of defamation. What the fuck was his YouTube channel about the entire time? He was defaming people who never even fucking talked about him. He would make videos attacking people almost every fucking day. He uploaded every fucking day, and when it wasn't some marketing brag about buy my program kind of shit, it was attacking other people. He was literally well known across the entire community and beyond and other corners of YouTube for being the guy who just defames people and then threatens to sue them for defamation for making a video in response to his defamation video about them. Again, he demanded $350,000 and a prison sentence for the alleged crime of defamation for videos on the internet in English that weren't even filmed or published in Peru. You're not even in the right jurisdiction, asshole. So dumb. John Mulvehill stated under oath that his business generates a monthly income of approximately $75,000. He accuses me of some of the most ridiculous things, but all I have ever done is document his questionable and illegal behaviors. I'm not the fucking criminal here. I'm not the one who is being fucking arrested. One of the main issues, of course, from my perspective, is the fact that John Mulvehill, who used to be known as John Amphibia Lifestyle until he was banned on YouTube, has a history of sexual harassment allegations. I can say that because it's true, and I have the protection under Peruvian law for freedom of expression. We'll get more into that. That's a big fucking topic I'm going to discuss. His sexual harassment allegations. We'll get to that part later. But first, I want to deal with some of the weird, ridiculous things he stated in his defamation court case he tried to put against me here in Peru. Note that, here in Peru, everyone speaks Spanish. So the court system, the documents, everything has to be in Spanish. So I'm reading out a few things here from my notes, but just note that some of the things I'm reading are rough translations from Spanish to English, or even from English to Spanish back to English again. Because it's just imagine I can't fucking get over this. I have been waiting to tell you guys this for a while. Imagine you fly all the way to another country that doesn't even speak English. You don't even live in that country, and you try to sue someone else who's not from that country for saying things on the internet that were in English, not the language of the country. And it didn't even fucking happen in the country. You can't fucking make this up. It's crazy. Let me fucking check the comments right now to get some of my sanity back. Oh man, that's a good one. Can't spell lifestyle without a massive L. You summarized it very well. Maybe you can have Paul Janka on now that John Anthony is no longer on YouTube. I don't think I ever really talked to him. Or maybe very briefly. Wait a second. He really makes $75,000 a month. Jesus. And he's trying to sue me and put me in prison. Trying to take 350,000 American dollars away from me. Motherfucker. He doesn't even have children. What is he doing? Anyway. Let me keep this going because this shit just gets really fucking insane. You guys have known from the very fucking start how open and transparent I am about everything. I do not randomly fucking criticize people in public. I have collaborated with more people than probably anyone else in this industry. It's not a bragging thing. People in the comments sometimes say I'm the Joe Rogan of the manosphere. I like cooperation. He was literally the opposite of me. He would attack people on his channel, and he wouldn't really do collaborations or many. He collaborated with me 6 years ago. That was the first time I ever dealt with him, and I never really heard of him before that. 2020. That was 2020. But I noticed over the years, I talked about this before, he just wouldn't do collaborations or debates or anything. And that was the start of the issue. And anyway, I'm going off track here, but you guys know I don't fucking make things up. But that guy had a fucking track record, very obviously, of making wild claims about himself and other people. So, and 2 years ago, I debunked lots of the bullshit that he was saying, and now he came at me with claims of defamation. But yeah, let's fucking go through this. One of the very first, if not the first thing listed on the document that I saw recently about his claims of defamation that I have said or published or whatever. Again, these are like translations and stuff. First one here in my notes: John Anthony Lifestyle has more than 100,000 fake subscribers. Did I say that? Yes, I did. John Anthony is a liar with 140,000 fake subscribers. This was a video I made about 2 years ago showing, let me read this other thing out first because it's just hilarious. His lawyer or whoever wrote this in their court document. The argument developed by the judiciary, which considers that it would not constitute the crime of aggravated defamation, is that said statements are framed within a debate on the veracity and ethics of the services it markets, being based on statistical comparisons and viewing metrics to question the legitimacy of the audience. However, it must be taken into account that in the videos where the defendant makes these statements, I made these statements, I based them on statistics created and manipulated by himself. That is, in other words, he did not base them on any official source nor any entity authorized to compile statistics and metrics for YouTube channels. What, you mean YouTube itself? Are you fucking dumb? The source was YouTube, his YouTube channel. That's the fucking source. It was in the video. Are you fucking stupid? Anyway, I'll continue reading. Even I spat everywhere. Even in the videos themselves, you can see the Excel spreadsheets. False. I used Google Sheets, you motherfucker, and you know it. Or you didn't even know it clearly. But look at this shit. Everything I use is Google. Google Phone. It was Google Sheets, and you do not have the professionalism to even recognize the software that was used. Anyway, I'll continue reading. I'm going fucking crazy here. Even in the videos themselves, you can see the Excel spreadsheets, Google Sheets. I get so fucking annoyed by even the smallest factual thing that isn't even correct. The smallest fucking lie or detail that's not correct, it just annoys me when people make mistakes. It's like, that's not accurate. I value accuracy. Anyway, I'll try fucking reading this before I keep ranting about everything. You can see the Google Sheets created and manipulated by the defendant without any source to support his false claims. What, you mean like YouTube itself? This, by the way, is taken from Social Blade. Now, the reason I can't show his YouTube statistics is because he was banned from YouTube last year. So they're literally, the first thing they accused me of in the document that I saw is that I'm literally making up numbers, claiming that he's faking his YouTube channel subscribers. I had gone through this video 2 years ago and everything's there. The video is still there. He never took any of my fucking videos down. The original videos are there covering all of this. But if I could cover this in just a matter of seconds, what the fuck is this? You can see monthly gain subscribers for John Anthony Lifestyle. And around January to, let's say, summer, Northern Hemisphere summer 2022, let's just focus on January to the middle of 2022. Suddenly, it just goes way up there. But then when you look at the exact same numbers for views on his YouTube channel, it starts going down. And these are the kinds of views not too much above the views that we get on our channel. And I stopped uploading videos very recently because I've been very busy. But as of today, I'm getting back into everything. But he was literally, look at these views. Most of them above 250,000 views. But for a channel that displayed 180,000 subscribers, and then suddenly jumped up to like 210,000 subscribers, why is it getting that many more views than my channel, which at the time had like 14,000 subscribers or something? Now I think I got 18,000 subscribers. And it's normal for us to get just under, most of the time, 200,000. So something's not making sense here when suddenly he is seeing 30,000 new subscribers within 1 month for 500,000 views. It's approximate. That's looks like June 2022 there. This particular subscriber spike. Yet the views are pretty much the same. So why isn't he getting, or wasn't he getting, because he's banned on YouTube, the same growth in subscribers, but then it just goes down? How strange. Why is it down to 0? How strange. Well, even below 0 some of the time. This is the type of shit you see on suspicious YouTube channels. And the source, in this case, this image is taken from Social Blade. But back when he had a YouTube channel, you could see it for yourself. And the original video I did, you could see exactly the numbers. I wasn't making the fucking numbers up. Why would I do that? You could 2 seconds, you could just search his channel and see, the numbers, okay, he gained like 5,000 views since Ice's video. And the subscribers are suddenly 10,000 more, for example. Something like that. But I don't think we need to spend so much time on this particular thing. The main thing is, there is more. Let's go to this one, actually. Let's try sharing. It's a little annoying because you have to switch to so many different things. Let's try this one, for instance. Here's a much clearer view. What's the source? They're claiming I made up the source. The source was YouTube, as clearly stated and shown in the video itself. Like, I'm pretty sure I remember specifically screen sharing his live YouTube channel page and going on the About section. You can see exactly how many views he had. And subscribers, normally it shows like byte 1,000 or 1,000 point X. They normally display it in units of hundreds or thousands, if it's in the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. Anyway, I'll be less sciencey about this. Let's just fucking look at this. Here's Playing with Fire, who 2 years ago at the time, this was May 2024, I was making this compare. You want the source? Let's check Playing with Fire's YouTube channel. Just, you don't believe me, check it right now. See how Playing with Fire has been doing, because he has a normal fucking ratio. So at the time, Playing with Fire had approximately 180,000 subscribers, and his views were close to 60 million. So let's say something like 55 million views. So why the fuck because he's banned on YouTube, John Anthony Lifestyle have in March 2024 less than 20 million views, but then approximately the same number of subscribers as Playing with Fire? I think it was this weird thing, obsession that he had. I need to be bigger than Playing with Fire, my enemy, who I used to do collaborations with. And then suddenly, boom, fucking lots of subscribers out of nowhere. And less than 1 million views more, or something like that. Barely 1 million new views. But suddenly, oh, what a crazy spike right there, a tiny spike right there. If it was real, it would look more like this. And you can see in my original video, every single legitimate YouTube channel with legitimate or normal views to subscribers ratios, always in every single case, the blue bar on this designed graph format would be slightly higher than the red. And if the blue was lower than the red, then it had fake subscribers, or that's what it would indicate. Now, anyway, it's kind of pointless talking about this because it's not the kind of shit that holds up in court, considering the fact that his YouTube channel is fucking banned. So let's just fucking move on. You just can't fucking make it up. Anyway, let me catch up with the comments here because I just don't know at this point. I can't imagine that because I'm not mentally challenged like John Trans Phony Lifestyle. Why doesn't anyone talk about how all the girls he shows off look like streetwalkers? Because he'll sue you for defamation. Like you should know this by now. In fairness, though, let me put that back on. Like, I'm not the kind of person who just like looks at other dating coaches or POAs or whatever and be like, that girl's ugly. That girl's look, I'm talking to you as the viewer. If you are into overweight or obese women, I'm not going to criticize you. That's what you're into. If you're into men like John Anthony Lifestyle, I'm not going to criticize you. That's what you're into. Whatever you're into, like this whole looks maxing thing has got me really confused because why are men doing like face ratings of other men and giving them like 6 out of 10? I'm not gay, so every man or photo of a man you present to me, that's a 0 out of 10. I'm not sexually attracted to men. So all of you guys watching, all you men, you're all 0 out of 10 to me because I would not have sex with you because I'm straight. So don't take it personally. But I genuinely believe if some of you guys in the comments or viewing this, if you're into women who are a bit on the bigger burgery side, have fun. I don't care. You are you, I am me. Some people, like I said, John Anthony Lifestyle, they're okay having sex with men because that's what they're into. It's okay, whatever. So anyway, let's continue with this. No, I skipped that one nearly, so let me go back there. John Anthony streams 3 hours of bragging, how he brags stunners and tens, and whenever he shows girls in his roster, it's girls that look like cheap tattooed. I'm not going to say that word, but you can have your opinion. That's okay. But if that's what he's into, I got nothing against it. If he's into men, I got nothing against that. Progressive Brazil and USA and everything. Do you do a game or nah? Like, I remember you left a super chat, I think, on the maybe it was the Mystery versus Ross Jeffries debate. I know you're a regular viewer. Surely by now you realize that there are 3 stages of game. Like, you are familiar with my content, or at least the YouTube stuff. Seriously, go to gameglobal.net and look for the 3 stages of game article because you do not understand a game unless you understand that there are 3 stages of game. So I'm not going to get into that, but I'm just whizzing through these comments so I can get to the next 20 points. I got to calm myself down because I'm going to fucking rant. Take a shot every time Ice reminds us that John Anthony Lifestyle is banned. Did you like the way I decorated my new office? I put my YouTube cup up there for Christmas. By the way, I don't think, maybe I showed this on one live stream back when I used to do the free coaching live streams every week. For Christmas, this is one of the things YouTube gave me. Pretty cool. Suits the name too. I'm nice and snowy. So I love that. Such a precious thing for me. And there's so much more. Let me just show off my YouTube stuff. what I got here. For Christmas, YouTube gave me a Christmas sweater. I fucking hate Christmas and Christmas sweaters almost equally. But I was like, you know what? Single-handedly, YouTube changed my mind because this is really fucking good. Finally, it's in white and red too. So the colors are suitable for me because you guys know everything in my wardrobe, apart from jeans, it's fucking white. I was good. I'm not gonna make more jokes. Just ignore the brown stains. Anyway, let's keep up with these comments. I'm a millionaire, but let's go back to my place real quick and rip up some shots. Drinks are expensive here. Yeah, it's ironic. Poor young. Okay, I thought you were talking about like Austrian. Was he Austrian or German philosophers? German language philosophers. Anyway, let me finish up these comments and then I'll continue on my fucking rampage. But opinion on using business card for this is a great question for me. I kind of used to do that. When did I stop? Did I like restart doing that at some point? I can't remember, but give it and just say message me if you want. No, really, that did cross my mind nearly 10 years ago, and I legitimately printed out like 4,000 business cards, or I just ended up throwing the unused ones away because my if you stop using one of the platforms, for instance, like 10 years ago, there were lots of platform changes. Like I stopped using Snapchat, so it was like I better stop referring them to Snapchat. Snapchat is for fucking kids. Wait, I didn't say that right. It's for kids. The demographic just doesn't sit right with me, and Snapchat has so many terrible features. Years ago, it used to be great, but anyway, like the information became outdated. So my main point, I guess, would be in relation to what you're going to put on there, make sure it's information that is set in stone, because it is a pain in the ass to print like thousands of business cards and then you change your username or you stop using one of the platforms. So then you got like maybe someone messages you or a bunch of people message you and you're just not going to respond to them because you don't even use that platform anymore. So just be extremely long-term thinking about that. I got other stuff to say on that, but I want to focus on getting back into this. You doing John Anthony mad, bro. Let me continue with this because it just gets so much worse. I can close this now. Close that now. Oh yeah. Let me show this too. Stop screen, share this one. Here's a reminder that John Anthony Lifestyle was banned from YouTube, TikTok guys. Now I'm going to get sued by people who are taking shots every time I remind them. This was posted on one of his accounts or something like that, as far as I remember. Your channel, John Mulvehill, John Anthony Lifestyle, your channel, not anymore, wasn't following our policy on harassment and cyberbullying. Probably because you were doing nothing but defamation and harassment and cyberbullying. We removed it to protect our community, because that's what good companies do. If you think we made the wrong call, blah, 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 don't bother, because you're just defaming everyone on our platform and harassing people and cyberbullying people. Take shotguns. So there's that too. There's evidence in case his lawyers come at me saying he claimed that my client was banned from YouTube and he had no source for this. Motherfucker, the source is YouTube itself. Oh, you can't fucking make this up. It's just incredible. Anyway, let me continue with this stuff. I am going off the rails here. Uh anyway, I didn't even finish reading this fucking thing. Um, in that sense, this is what the lawyers wrote. In that sense, translated, of course, the claims that my client is a fraud for having fake followers are not supported by objective information, like YouTube, as your court claims, but are claims based on information manipulated by the defendant himself without using real official or authorized sources. Motherfucker, did you miss YouTube? What's the source? With the purpose of denigrating the integrity, the honor of my client. Your honor, this man's client has no honor. Anyway, let me keep reading this. On repeated occasions, the defendant has made openly offensive, defamatory, and denigrating statements against my client, such as homophobic. Wait a minute. I called him homophobic? How dare I? Oh my God. How dare I call him homophobic? Let me get the screen share, guys, on this. How dare I call him homophobic when he where is this? I'm looking for this. Where is this? His conversation with me. He said, I think you are a massive F word that is homophobic and not allowed on YouTube. Loser. How many is that? 1, 2, 3. Oh my, how dare I call him homophobic when he's using homophobic, what do you call it? Slurs. He's using homophobic slurs. How dare I call him homophobic? Whoa. Protect this man from me for calling him homophobic because he used homophobic words which are banned on YouTube against policy of identity and cyberbullying and harassment. Oh, poor guy wants me to go to prison in Peru for calling him homophobic when he was using homophobic slurs in the evidence that I had already publicized a long time ago. Man, I'm convinced that these lawyers are just happy to take his money. That was my opinion before this news that I'm giving you now. I'm convinced his lawyers are just happy to take his money. I seriously fucking mean that. So here we go. Here's don't worry about him, guys. Like clearly he's not doing any defamation. Clearly he respects the Peruvian court when he makes videos and thumbnails claiming Ice White is going to Peruvian jail because I asked ChatGPT and ChatGPT always agrees with me. He literally made a hilarious thumbnail. Oh, it looks so pretty there. I'm going to do so well in prison. Saying that I'm going to go to jail before any court makes any decisions. I don't think that's how justice works. I don't think people just happen to be put into prisons because someone made a YouTube video in English outside of the country that the court is dealing with all this bullshit. This is just completely insane. So yeah, has no respect for the court, has no respect for the judicial process, has no respect for me, obviously. How dare he picture me on his Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever AI tool he used to generate an image of me behind bars. I have never been arrested, but he has. And we're going to get to that. And that's ultimately one of the main points of this court battle. I'm accused of defamation for saying things that line up with what other people have said, and the fact that he has a history of sexual harassment. And I can say that. I'm seeing some good comments here. I'm going to address them later. One of them right at the very end. So don't worry if I'm addressing comments in the most illogical order. Let me continue here. Yeah, so as I said, he accused me of calling him homophobic. Yeah, that makes sense. That's true. I did call him homophobic. Anyway, here's the quote they associated with this, translated from English to Spanish to English again. It says apparently it's like something I said, but translated twice. John Mulvehill has a history of insulting people through his YouTube channel, so it's no surprise to learn that he is homophobic. How dare I say that? Oh, straight to prison I should go with all the Peruvian presence, or most of them at this point. For the safety, here's another thing they claim is defamation against him. For the safety of women and for the safety of others whom he silences, we take this opportunity to warn others and urge people to come forward with any information that may indicate that John Mulvehill, John Anthony Lifestyle, may be a rapist, may have drugged women, or may have forced them to have sexual relations. That's translated twice. So a little context here. By the way, he also accuses me of calling him a rapist. So they have a lot of claims about me calling him a rapist, which in Spanish is violador. And the quotation they used didn't even come from me. It was the title of a video someone else posted. So they're claiming that I called him a rapist just because someone else posted a video titled John Anthony Lifestyle is a rapist. I would not say such a thing unless we knew for a fact that he was a rapist or that he raped someone. What we do know for a fact is that he has a history of sexual harassment and that he was arrested over a decade ago in the city of Las Vegas, the great city of Las Vegas, which I love so much. He was arrested back around 2013 or something in Las Vegas for sexual harassment. Now, the legal language, Peru, USA, the legal language is different. So in Peru, it's just like, I can't remember what I was going to say, but let me just keep going because it will be revealed anyway. The complaint, I'm just reading more stuff here. The complaint points out that the accused published content referencing unverified online rumors about the complaint. No, that's another matter. Let me deal with this rapist stuff first. So I never accused John Anthony Lifestyle of being a rapist because he never raped me. I wouldn't want to be near him in general. But he does have a history of sexual harassment. So in the Spanish language, that can kind of be tied into the same thing, maybe. But in American courts, it's a different matter. So I got so many things to screen share here. It's crazy. So I got to watch out for whatever makes the most sense. Let's try doing this one. Can't find it. Yeah, let me just do this at least. I want fucking let me do that. Okay, let me try this way. Better way. Okay, found it. Bear with me. Let's see. Here we go. Right now, that should be.
Trying to get in this? That's my dad. It's okay.
Let's start from. I want to show you guys something amazing. I don't mean amazing in the positive sense, but can you guys just tell me, am I going crazy here? Is this sexual harassment?
I'm just kidding. Hey, you trying to get in this? That's my dad. It's okay. In front of you. You can jerk off to it. Oh, sorry. I thought you were my friend. I don't know.
Is that sexual harassment? It's like, who goes out at night on Union Street, San Francisco, and grabs a woman in public at night in the dark? I'm pretty sure that can be called sexual harassment. Now, why did I mention the city name? Now, here's something that's very interesting. Let me share my screen once again. Tell you how I know where this was. I got random, I can't even escape this now. What's going on? My computer is literally stuck. What the fuck? John Mulvehill is hacking me, everyone. I made that up. I'm just joking. Seriously, what the fuck? I can't escape this now. Seriously, why are you fucking with me? I'm live streaming and this video is being stuck on my fucking screen. It's insane. What the fuck can I do now? Oh, there we go. Okay, it's fucking froze big time. Let me get rid of that. So, okay, we're safe. We're safe. Okay. Where are we? Yeah, you can see this now. We're all good. Someone trying to fucking jeopardize this shit. Anyway, why am I on Google Street View, on Google Maps, just looking around this random street? Well, this is not a random street. This is the street where John Mulvehill grabbed a woman. As you can see, if you can see my cursor, at least, you'll be able to see that there are rows of bricks in white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll see that the window here is slightly lower than the other window. And you'll see this column detail the same altitude as the window detail. And the shop front has a little inlet, and there's another piece of glass here. Isn't that interesting? Now, why am I showing this? Because we found out exactly where this sexual harassment by John Mulvehill happened. That's where it was. So the address for this is 1977A Union Street, San Francisco, at a place that in the video, I'll stop that there and share the video again.
Are you trying to get in this? That's my dad.
There you can see the window is slightly lower than the one on the left, and there are rows of 5 bricks high.
It's okay. You can jerk off to it. Oh, sorry. I thought you were my friend.
And this was the name printed onto a window, and that restaurant doesn't exist anymore. They changed it to another one. So this is exactly where it happened. I'm not sure exactly who posted this in the first place, how many years ago it was, but I showed a man this to get his opinion. By the way, this man I showed, he's a Peruvian man who's gay who lives in California. I showed this man what was going on, and I was like, am I going crazy here? Is this sexual harassment? And he was like, "Oh, you're absolutely fucking right. It's sexual harassment." Literally grabbing a woman.
I'm just kidding. Hey, you trying to get in this? That's my dad. It's in front of you. You can jerk off to it.
And the audio is all over the place, but very clearly one of the things he says is jerking off to it or something along those lines. Sexualizing the conversation, grabbing a woman who doesn't want to be grabbed. This is sexual harassment. So let me continue with some other things. There's a reason I showed that. I'm going to get back to that point later. Now, more stuff they wrote in the documents, which again are translated from Spanish to English. The complaint points out that the accused published content referencing unverified online rumors about the complainant's marriage, explicitly asserting that mutual infidelity occurred, thereby severely injuring the personal, marital, and domestic tranquility. I nearly said tranquility there. I'm sorry. Tranquility of his household. Poor guy posting videos almost daily back then because his YouTube channel was banned. Claiming, hey, I just had sex with 1,500 women and a man while he was married. And he is married to a Brazilian woman. Now, he is claiming that I'm defaming him for mutual infidelity. And I never said something like that. And I never would have made that kind of point in the first place because, first of all, I don't give a shit. Second of all, you know, someone like him being married to someone, you know, it's not going to be like normal, to say the least. So I'm not claiming, oh, there was like mutual infidelity. What the fuck are they talking about? That makes no sense. But there were videos posted that other people made. Yeah, like here's like another quotation from their document. Several YouTubers, has nothing to do with me, have claimed to have posted evidence that John Mulvehill's wife, Liz, cheated on him. Implies that John Mulvehill sleeps with prostitutes because he has a sugar dating account. What's a sugar dating account? Isn't that just prostitution or something very similar to it? I thought sugar dating was like you offer a bag of sugar to a woman so you can make her very hyper and excited, and then she wants to sleep with you because she's so excited. I thought that is what sugar dating means. Man, I really don't understand what sugar dating is. Never done it myself. I don't offer women bags of sugar or candy or stuff like that. It's kind of strange. But anyway, now I believe I'm starting to quote what the judge herself wrote in response to this court case against me. It says here, this judicial seat, aka I, the judge, notes that the complainant, John Mulvehill, explicitly defines himself in his petition as an international, here's the really interesting part, instructor of pickup. He literally went to a Peruvian court and says, hey guys, I'm an instructor of pickup and dating coach who commands a highly visible public platform generating vast commercial revenue. He is, by his own definition, a public digital figure. The digital evidence logged in the complaint, consisting of Reddit threads and YouTube video transcripts, which were translated from English to Spanish, and lots of these videos weren't even made in Peru, which makes it completely irrelevant. Managed by the accused, Ice White, does not represent an isolated, malicious personal attack fabricated out of pure malice. aka White has no malice, aka this is not isolated, aka there's no malicious personal attack, aka other people have fucking done it before, standing up against him. The digital evidence. No, I just read that next part. Rather, the text demonstrates that the accused was engaging, the accused being me, engaging in a public tracking, analysis, and critique of a highly controversial online brand. In other words, the judge ruled, she literally did, the judge ruled that John Mulvehill is a controversial public figure who was already controversial with pre-existing controversy before all of this happened. The evaluations regarding subscriber metrics, audience authenticity, and platform bans belong clearly to the realm of commercial critique and public interest debate regarding a public service provider. Regarding the personal labels and the references to severe sexual assault allegations, the text reveals that the accused, me, was reporting on summarizing explosive pre-existing international community controversies and public warnings that were already widely circulating online surrounding the complainant's brand, John Anthony Lifestyle, which is banned from YouTube, not randomly, and the judge noted that. Expressions poured by the accused, me, lack the unique, exclusive criminal presence of animus diffamandi. I am legally covered under the umbrella of freedom of expression and public interest critique, animus criticandi. So, under Peruvian law, John Mulvehill had pre-existing controversies years before I even heard of him. Under freedom of expression and animus criticandi, I can say that John Mulvehill has a history of sexual harassment. Under Peruvian law, I can say that John Mulvehill had sex with men and is therefore bisexual, because Peru does not recognize that transgenders can just declare themselves to be women when they are in fact men. Here in Peru, transgenders do not have special rights. You're a man or you're a woman. There's no such thing as the transgenderism special rights. When I say special rights, I mean me, for example, I just say I'm a woman. I have a beard. I have a penis. I have balls. I'm not a woman. I'm a man. So here in Peru, it's not the USA. It's not Brazil. You can't just say you're a woman because you want to be transgender or you want to be a woman. It is a fact in Peru that John Anthony Lifestyle is bisexual. So those female tens were in fact male tens because he was attracted to men. Now there's nothing wrong with John Mulvehill being attracted to men, being attracted to transgenders. Like I was saying before, whatever you're into, fucking go for it. Got nothing to do with me. I am not homophobic. But ironically, the man that is bisexual was homophobic towards a man who is straight. How does that work? It's so strange. And then he made this defamation case, and one of the main things in the defamation parts was the accusation that I called him homophobic. When he was using homophobic slurs, I called him homophobic because he used homophobic slurs, and therefore there's this court case. And of course, there's much more he's trying to sue me for. But ultimately, he lost the case immediately. The judge threw it out, rejected it straight away, whatever you want to say. So as it stands right now, he has tried to appeal the case because he lost it in the first place and I won. And here's the crazy part. I didn't even know. I didn't even know about this. I won the case without even knowing that there was a case. He literally flew all the way to Peru, thousands of miles, sat in the lawyer's office in the middle of Lima, gave them money to try to set up a criminal court case against me, to sue me for $350,000 and to throw me in prison for at least 1 year, something like that. For saying things on the internet that other people already said years before me in English, outside of Peru. Not even the right jurisdiction, man. This is just a huge waste of my time, huge waste of money. And in response, I will be seeking payback. What I mean by payback, I will seek to get compensation for you wasting my fucking time. You came all the way here to Peru, too scared to even have a conversation with me. Instead, you go hire a Peruvian lawyer, give them some money to waste my fucking time. And speaking of which, there is a very relevant comment for this. Can you sue him for malicious lawsuits? Yes. Here in Peru, there is, I can't remember the wording exactly, but it is a crime in Peru to use the judicial system as a means of harassment. So what John Anthony Lifestyle, not John Anthony Lifestyle, John Mulvehill. John Anthony Lifestyle was banned on YouTube. Take a shot, guys. John Mulvehill is using the Peruvian legal system to harass me. And in Peru, that is illegal to do. So come further illegal harassment, he can face punishments. And not even that, but before that even happens, he can also face compensating me for wasting my time. Because he's specific. He doesn't even fucking live here, first of all. And I'm not from here. And many of the things I'm accused of saying in English didn't even fucking happen in this country. So it's completely silly. But let me clear up some. Let me clear up some, it's funny, I was saying, let me clear up some sexual harassment. Isn't that interesting? Like, here's, this isn't a new thought of mine. I'm extremely fucking serious about this. I am very concerned. I have felt this way for a while. And first time I knew about this guy, I didn't know much about him, but over time it became clearer and clearer and clearer what the actual issue is with this person. I have no malice against this guy, but I do, as a man of integrity and a man who values his own words, a man of my word, and a man who fights evil. I genuinely believe this man is evil. And the reason I believe he is evil is because he's trying to cover up his history of sexual harassment. So I'm changing my message here. This isn't about who's a better dating coach, or it was never about that. This is all about a man who's trying to cover up everything he can about information out there of him sexually harassing people. And that's not the only type of harassment he does. He has used YouTube, which is why he is banned on YouTube, to harass other people, including my wife, who is Peruvian. He allegedly made videos posting photos of me and my wife together or whatever, saying that my wife, a cancer patient who has a hole in her brain, she had 12 hours of brain surgery. She had 6 weeks of radiotherapy. She had 12 months of chemotherapy, an entire year of chemotherapy. He put pictures of her on his YouTube videos and said, this Peruvian woman looks like a dog. This Peruvian woman looks like a grandma. You think that's going to hold up well in court in Peru when you call Peruvian citizens dogs and dehumanize them? That's precisely why he was banned on YouTube in the first place. And many of the judges, if I remember correctly, most of the judges that we're dealing with are female. And I'm pretty sure all of them are Peruvian. So do you think about it. Do you think it's wise to insult Peruvian people and sexually harass women internationally and then cry to the court, please court, this ice white guy is a very bad person because he's accusing me of things. Meanwhile, he calls Peruvian women dogs, subhuman, and all these other things. No wonder the case got thrown in your face. It's ridiculous. I still have so much more to share. So let's dive into, I'm going to clean up a few tabs here. Let's dive into this because the important thing for me, let's be honest here. The important thing for me is that I'm not financially harmed or time wasted. But what I want to actually say is the important thing for me is that I'm actually concerned about John Mulvehill, about his behavior, because he has a history of sexual harassment. And that is precisely why I have this problem with him. It's not like I'm defaming him. I am simply warning people to stay away from this weird person because we have videos of him. There are videos of him from before I even knew who he was. There are videos of him sexually harassing women. He was arrested in Las Vegas for sexually, but let's go into that. Let's read this. I'm gonna screen share this one. Clean up here. Here's a fun one. And by the way, this is on a Wayback Machine, so maybe the page isn't up anymore live on their website, which is suspicious. But here's a quotation from the Daily Beast. On one night in May, as part of his routine, Mulvehill walked a reluctant young woman from Caesar's Palace. I love Caesar's Palace. I got some stuff up there from Caesar's Palace. To his car, according to an arrest report. Arrest report, how strange. Once there, according to the report, the Casanova pulled her into the back seat of his black Pontiac, then locked the doors, so she couldn't escape, and tossed away her phone so she couldn't continue to text her friends. She kept telling him she wanted to leave, the arrest report says. I'm not making it up. This is the Daily Beast. Mulvehill somehow took that as a sign to pull down his pants and tell her to watch as he masturbated while trying to grope her breast and kiss her, according to the alleged victim. When the girl's friends found her, they banged on Mulvehill's car window and she got out. In Mulvehill's telling his side of the story, according to an interview with his attorney, Warren Geller, the woman was a willing participant and only protested once her friends arrived. Geller provided a few stills from the security footage, which showed that Mulvehill was dragging the woman kicking and screaming. However, several of the stills also seemed to show him tightly gripping her arm. Wait, where have I seen that before? Wasn't that on Union Street in San Francisco? The video? Geller, his lawyer, his attorney, could not provide the full footage of the video in time for publication of this article on Daily Beast, the Daily Beast. How interesting. Oh, he just couldn't provide it on time. Oh, suspicious, to say the least. Isn't that suspicious? Now, I'm not saying Geller was trying to cover it up, but there are many signs I'm concerned about, and you'll see more of this as we go on, that there's some kind of cover-up going on directed by John Mulvehill. Why does he try to sue people if he's so innocent? Why does he threaten to sue so many people if he's innocent? Why does he try to silence people? Why does he try to get people banned on YouTube? He tried to get me banned on YouTube. He's the one who ended up getting banned on YouTube. Take a shot, guys. Why does he try to silence everyone who tries to speak out against him? Why, when he did have a YouTube channel, but not anymore because he was banned on YouTube, why was he deleting lots of comments on every video of his that even remotely questioned him? Even like the softer ones, are just curious. So many people told me their comments would be deleted. I have no problem with deleting comments myself. Like if there's so much fucking negativity or racism, I get reports from people on Telegram all the time saying this guy's just being a pain in the ass. And then I just like ban the person for being a pain in the ass. Like my philosophy is very simple, and I genuinely believe that that social media companies and platforms should just give me $1 million so I can show them the right way to bring about a policy. And my personal policy is along the lines of no negativity. Like, what do I mean by no negative? We can talk about negative things and important things, but when maliciousness comes into the equation, or racism, which is malicious, or stuff like that, I'm not interested in this negativity. So I think a lot of social media platforms should have this no negativity policy, because especially in the last few years, everything on Facebook timelines, it's all just negative stuff, rage bait. People are consciously aware of this on a large scale, that rage bait is a thing. Negativity does get engagement. And that's why John Anthony Lifestyle's channel, before it was banned, was relatively popular, but not as popular as his fake subscribers claimed, implied. So anyway, what was I saying? The thing I'm really concerned about is trying to cover up everything. It's a reminder of, forgive me for pronouncing German names correctly, but didn't Harvey Weinstein do the same thing? That guy who made, I don't know, is he serving a prison sentence right now or before? I'm not sure if he was released or whatever. But there were people like Harvey Weinstein who tried to silence people who try to speak up because he was sexually harassing people in Hollywood, sexual favors for acting roles or something like that. I don't know too much about that particular scenario, but that was a big thing quite a few years ago. Now, wait a minute. I'm getting another name in my head. Wasn't there also Rolf Harris? Wasn't there also Jeffrey Epstein, another German name? So I'm just saying it the German way. Who there have been documentaries on since, and they show that victims were coming forward and saying that they were threatening to sue him, to sue them for speaking out against Jeffrey. And even things that had nothing to do with suing, like threatening to sue is one thing, but Jeffrey Epstein would also threaten. From what I remember, I was showing my daughter the first part of the documentary on Netflix. It's called something money, dirty money, or something. The Jeffrey Epstein story, or something like that. My daughter is 6 years old. And why am I showing her documentaries about sexual assault, sexual harassment, rape, rapist? Why am I showing a 6-year-old this? Because I fear it. If this is something that happens to my daughter, I will take the consequences and karma into my own hands and serve justice. Because I have family members who have been sexually assaulted before, sexually harassed, male family members and female family members. I've talked about this a few times to a few individuals very recently alone. For instance, a male family member of mine, a male, was poisoned by a woman. His drink was spiked. He was poisoned and he nearly died. And for days, he stared at the wall. This notoriously happens to women, obviously, but I say that this happened to a male family member of mine because it also happens to men. But I have a female version. Another female family member of mine was also poisoned. And I think on another occasion, attacked in an alley, same person. And then there's me, a gay man, poisoned me nearly 10 years ago. I was in the nightclub, and for I suppose for years I never talked about it because as men we just don't share these things, but we need to discuss this shit because it's very concerning and important, and we need to protect our family members and ourselves. Now, I was, as of now, let me give you some more context. I haven't had any alcohol for 7 years. The last drink of alcohol I had was my wedding day, so you could pinpoint the date. It was a glass of champagne. I just decided never to have alcohol again. Not for any particular reason, but it's like, I don't need it. I don't drink Coca-Cola. I don't drink Pepsi. I'll have lemonade once in a while. I did today. But generally, I stick with water. My name is Ice, after all. Self-fulfilling prophecy, baby. But anyway, I was never in my life had I really been drunk before because my tolerance level was always extremely high. And I would see like friends of mine and other people just like they'll get drunk and like have a crazy time. But I was never unaware of anything whenever I had even a lot of alcohol. So I always was able to handle alcohol very well. Maybe it's because genetically I'm Siberian. Maybe it's because genetically I'm Norwegian and Swedish, Nordic, maybe. Or maybe because I'm also Irish and it's just a mixture of everything. Uh, I'm not Czech though. Um, I don't know, but that's beside the point. This man in the nightclub offered to buy me a drink. And I was like, well, saves money still. Sure. So he handed me the drink. Little did I know, in that moment, he poisoned it. And I had this one drink. I didn't have any alcohol before that. And suddenly I became more drunk than I had ever been in my life. And I had so much vodka within like 2 hours and numerous times before. And I was never remotely close to the feeling or the delay in my mind, the drunkenness. Never in my life had I been so drunk before, but on one drink. So fortunately, I had the awareness in the moment that I realized something was wrong. And it didn't take me long to realize I have been poisoned. And not long after that, I realized who it was, which was pretty obvious given what happened after that. Essentially, the man followed me home, not all the way, because I stopped him. And I used to live on the, called the Keys back then, a body of water, and I would see boats in front of my room from my balcony all the time. It was a great place. Before I got too close to my street, I stopped him near the start of the quay, by the water, right next to the water. Drew the fucking line and said, I gotta stop you here. You can't go further. Like, you're not following me home. And I stopped there in case he tried something. And if he tries something, I could throw him in the water and do whatever's necessary to protect myself. I could just throw him in the water. Getting the itchy nose here. Anyway, I stopped him there. He tried to hug me and try to make a move on me. I was like, yep, it's confirmed that he's gay and he poisoned me. So it immediately became clear, and it just stopped him from even touching me and following me home further. So I fucking stopped the guy. Now, the reason I share this happened to me. I'm a man. Imagine what a woman goes through. It is fucking scary. The similar thing happened to, as I said before, a male relative of mine, male family member, but also female family members of mine. This happened to me as a man. I'm a big man too. I can defend myself pretty easily. I'm much taller than most people. But imagine when you become a parent and you have your own children, you are the protector of your family. So imagine what a woman has to go through. But I had to say all of this to a good female friend of mine who I run a mental health charity with. But I mentioned some things like that I told my female friend that I have a list of documentaries and movies to show my daughter when she's older. And at the time of this conversation 2 years ago, my daughter was 4 years old. And this was happening in Canada. And my friend said to me, you got to show her way before she's 14. And it instantly hit me. I knew she was right because she was hitting me back with her experiences and friends of hers, you have no fucking idea what a girl goes through from the age of 8, from the age of 5. It is scary. The stories from various female family members or female friends of mine, when they tell you like things their friends have things that have happened to them, like kidnappings or some police officer touching them up when they're like 7 years old or something like that. It's scary. So I was out of my mind. My heart was in the right place, thinking, I'll show my daughter when she's 14. My friend told me, you better show her now when she's 4. Start letting your children know very early that there are fucking weirdos out there like John Mulvehill who just grab women on the street. And this, again, this doesn't just happen to women. This happens to men. This happens to little girls who could even be the age of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I was thinking 14 years old. I'll teach my kids about this. No, you got to teach them when they're like 4 years old onwards about this stuff and remind them over and over again because it's fucking crazy out there. So I have the genuine concern that there are many bad people out there. We can all agree. Some of you guys probably have your own experiences or family members or friends of yours that have been raped or sexually assaulted or sexually harassed. And I have seen some scary statistics years ago, blatantly stating that the vast majority of women have experienced some form of sexual harassment. So it makes you fear as a parent, as a man, as a father, as a dad, that something like this is likely going to happen to your children or someone your children knows or someone you know, if not already. That being said, this is my main problem. Jeffrey Epstein was covering it up. Harvey Weinstein was covering it up. The BBC in England and Jimmy Savile was covering it up for decades. So it's important that we talk about it. It's important that we warn people that this happens because especially in cases like Jimmy Savile and Jeffrey Epstein, only after they died did everything explode. And that's scary. Harvey Weinstein, as far as I know, he's still alive. It blew up in his face when he was still alive, but he's old. So he got away with it for years. So what I'm saying here is there are people in positions of power who get away with things like this for years. Some of them die. And then because they died, they escaped any punishment or defamation or any consequence because they silenced people who stood up against them. So that's at this point, from everything I have seen from John Mulvehill, that is my main concern right now. Because what is his track record? He has a track record of sexual assault, sexual harassment, cyberbullying, dehumanization, suing people. keeping people silent. Why? To cover something up? Oh, his precious reputation as a dating coach? No. For money, yeah, sure. Like, I guess everyone's motivated by money. But man, a dating coach who claims to have sex with thousands of women, whose former coworkers were imprisoned for rape, who was arrested himself for sexual harassment, who then sues people for talking about the fact that he was arrested for sexual harassment. There is a reason he wants to keep people silenced. And I've had so many dating coaches come to me sending me messages of appreciation that I stood up to him, because some of these people who messaged me, some of these dating coaches, some of them did, and then they sued him. Some of them did, and then they took their videos down because he threatened them. Some of them just never spoke out because they know he threatens people. So the biggest danger here is keeping quiet. You cannot keep this shit to yourself. So a side message, but a very important message to everyone watching this. If something has ever happened to you, or you know someone who something happened to them, but they only told you, please convince yourself and others around you to report these things that happen. Do not ever let evil people get away with things. On that note, I'm going to show some more about this, because this goes on. This just keeps going. This one, for instance, quotation from SBS News, and the domain is sbs.com.au. And when a domain is .com.au, that's an Australian domain. So this is international. For the record, the woman claimed John pulled down his pants and told her to watch as he masturbated while trying to grope her breast and kiss her. She also alleged when her friends found her, they banged on the door, on the car window, and she got out. According to court documents, Joan was charged with disorderly conduct, coercion, and 2 counts of open or gross lewdness, which isn't that basically sexual harassment? Or, I'm not in the USA. I'm in Peru. So this is sexual harassment. I can say that. So this is our official story now. John Mulvehill is silencing people for speaking out against his history of sexual harassment. This is what it's about. Everything has come down to this. This is the reason he sues people. John was never convicted. Instead, he made a no contest plea for disorderly conduct and misdemeanor on the condition that he pay all fines, fees, and costs, undergo impulse control counseling, and stay out of the Las Vegas Strip corridor for a year. A no contest plea means you accept punishment for the crimes you have been charged with, but you do not admit guilt. Very interesting. Now, this is nothing new. This website has been around for a long time. When was this even published? More than 5 years ago. 2021, apparently. Now let's look at the next one. There's more. Here's one titled, School Shooters Love This Pickup Artist Website. it has various things before it, but here's just this part. When the alleged victim threatened to call 911, she says, Mulvehill tossed her phone out of her reach and held her by her arm. Eventually, the woman's friends found her in the garage and banged on the window until a pantless Mulvehill, what an insult, a pantless Mulvehill, let her go, according to the police report. Mulvehill's attorney did not respond to a request for comment. Interesting. Remember the previous time when the attorney did not respond in time? So interesting. And there's more. Still more. Let's see. Mugshots.com. John Mulvehill, open gross lewdness, Nevada. Charges. Open gross lewdness first. Coercion with force or threat of force. Kidnapping, first degree. I don't know, guys. Am I defaming someone or am I warning people that evil is out there and getting away with it? Now, as for the court system itself and the court matter that we had here in Peru, essentially one of the main points that the judge made was this controversy was pre-existing. I didn't make this. He did when he started sexually harassing women. He was arrested more than 10 years ago, years before I even heard of him. This has nothing to do with me. So in the eyes of Peruvian law, I did nothing wrong. I have freedom of expression. And this is a pre-existing controversy. And the judge even noted that he was specifically banned from YouTube for a reason. It's not a coincidence. So let's see what else I can show here. So on that note, perhaps this one. Here's a thumbnail from a YouTuber. And I'll switch to this tab too. This is the video as with that thumbnail. I took a 7-day seduction course and it was awful. And this guy has over 1 million views. And this was years ago, over a year before I even made any videos about the guy or published anything about him. This is pre-existing, more than 1 million views. And if you check the comments, we're going to do John Mulvehill's favorite hobby here, reading the comments and deleting them. Oh, wait, I can't delete these comments. I don't own the channel. So that's an old point I used to make, that he hated doing collaborations. At least this is a suspicion of mine. He stopped doing collaborations because he realized he can't control the comments. So my suspicion 2 years ago was that he was just doing his own thing on his own channel because he can control the comments. Like, imagine how much insecurity you need for that. It's just insane. Here, I'm kind of making a point here for the Peruvian court system that this is pre-existing. There are many comments defaming him that have nothing to do with me. I'm convinced this guy has never felt a shadow of emotional intimacy with a woman. Let me like these so I can at least see where I'm at. The poor girl, she was probably so terrified when she realized there was no party and she was intoxicated and alone with 2 men. I really hope she was okay. Defamation. right? The platinum course is where he shows you how to rinse pepper spray out of your eyes in a gas station bathroom. It's a very good comment right there. One of two things happened at the end of that infield video. She realized he was lying and left immediately. Video evidence of a felony. That footage of him picking up a girl was genuinely terrifying. I hope that girl ended up being okay. Are these all malicious people trying to defame him, or are these normal people with genuine concerns about an evil man doing questionable things? Dude is so creepy that I feel like I need a 7-day course on how to defend myself from people who unironically take his course. I appreciate the man's confidence in posting evidence that will be used against him in a future court case. Let's see what else is here. Open, isolate, escalate, and pull. I'm convinced he needs to be put on a list somewhere. As a guy, this video gave me a whole new understanding of the terror women constantly go through with creeps like this out there everywhere. That's literally what I was just talking about a few minutes ago. I'm not going fucking crazy here. It's never enough, even at this level, it's never enough. Man just openly admitted his manipulation tactics have not done anything to fix his clear, overwhelming loneliness. The guy is a sociopath. You can see it in his dead eyes. You are not kidding about how creepy this guy is. Insane. Oh yeah, let me read more of that. Even before he speaks, just the look on his face in some of those pictures with women are so creepy. So I did a little Google foo to look a bit deeper into him, and yeesh, he's been accused of everything from hiring escorts to pretend he closed to use PUA vernacular, threatening to have PUA competitors' father murdered, to being called the rape coach. So yeah, seems like a swell guy. 3 years ago, this is before I made any publications about this guy. People in the comments pointing out pre-existing matters, threats he made, being called a rape coach. I honestly think a good idea would be for women to watch these courses and share that information with other women so we can all know what guys to avoid. Because I'm 99% sure any guy who genuinely takes this advice is bound to be a creep. Some of you guys are gonna have kids of your own, and you seriously have to be alert and protect your kids. Again, I talked about this already, but I'm dead fucking serious. Because of people like him. Man. So let me look at another one. So here's another video. Red pill pickup artist crybilly threatens lawsuits. Wait, isn't that what happened to me? John Anthony Lifestyle. This is my comment. Makes defamation videos about people, often lying about them and making information up out of thin air. Also, John Anthony Lifestyle is surprised when someone makes a video about him without needing to lie. Gets angry, threatens with lawsuits, cries, makes another angry video, sends more legal threats. Oh boy, the logic of this guy is so dumb. It's just impossible to retain brain cells with this guy. You forget to mention John claims to be a pro poker player, millionaire affiliate marketer, blah, 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 blah. Uh, alpha males are always alpha right up until they run into someone who isn't scared of their persona. Imagine how this plays out in court. Your Honor, the defendant had defamed me by claiming I'm fabricating my lay count and that I don't have a 17 goal rotation of stunners. Insane. Dude is bragging about his lay count like no one cares, but his emotionally stunted viewers living vicariously through his videos. Let's see this one. So this is when he was on Fuzzcast and he made an appearance more than 2 hours long. So this is just a video that he makes an appearance in. Won't be surprised to see John making an enraged hit piece on Saz in a month. This is 3 years ago. Let's see. We all warned you John trashes everyone he's ever been associated with. Today, he made a community post about interviewing Justin Waller. Who can't tell lies when you hear them? John looks like he breathes through his mouth 3 years ago. John uses that I am a DJ line to pick up wingmen. Let's do another one. Shortest tab. This looks like a clip. Sazcast. He needs to get his life together if he thinks empty sex with random women is an accomplishment. If you're over the age of 33 and women is still your priority in life, you really, really, really need to reevaluate your life. I think I saw a video of him saying he had some STDs. I mean, damn, have fun, but use protection. Jesus Christ, I bet none of these high-value men use protection, get the bag, get women, but never talk about use protection. What are you without your health? Yeah. He's definitely friggin' creepy. This guy is Cap, just wants to name number drop. I find him really repulsive. I don't know why. I'm getting very bad vibe from him. Plus, I visited his YouTube channel, which doesn't exist anymore. He doesn't seem very successful. I think when you brag about being with lots of women, I think deep inside it shows signs of insecurities. I don't need to brag about anything. I think the happiest people are the ones who don't need to brag or talk about numbers. They're just happy. This is correct. This is the problem with our industry. It's like, let me brag about a woman I had sex with for marketing purposes. And then the guys who are legitimately really good at game aren't the ones who are trying to show off. To be honest, I think his attitude is just chasing the woman. I think the best message in life is to chase excellence and money first, and women can come later, basically. I have 2 more comment sections to share, and then I'm going to show you something extremely insane, the real juicy stuff. Then I'll get to the comments too. I find the whole idea of having a goal of having a ton of women still placing too much importance in women. Seems like deep-seated insecurity to me. Good to see John Anthony went all out and addressed appropriately for a live interview. Does anybody else think his body language was weird and that he seemed inauthentic during the interview? Seeing this comment section gives me some faith in humanity for people see past this guy's BS. I don't understand sign language, but I think he's telling me a story. Yeah. One more, and then I'll show you something insane and check some comments too. How to ban 1,500 women and men or die trying. Just randomly remembered this video, so I had to come back in 2025 to laugh at his pregnant stomach again. What a tool. I'm out now. Have a good one, whoever sees this. Cheers. Well, you're on YouTube now. Here we go. Welcome to the circus. Homie's literally pregnant. Yeah, it's insane. Alrighty, so I'm going to close a bunch of these tabs. We have done that. I have one more bunch of things to show, I guess, but let's see some comments first. On Reddit seduction forums, I saw about business cards. Makes sense for. Let's talk about this another time. It's a good topic I want to address, but not right now. He used to have very offensive speech towards people. What do you expect? Yeah. Defaming others and then sues others for making a video in response to his defamation. Logic. In my opinion, he seemed more like a gossiper. Why not just sell? Exactly. It's a, it's a marketing thing that obviously works. But I don't want to resort to that. I have called out people before, but like aside from John, like one other person in general. So I get a lot of people asking me like, who do you recommend for boot camps? I will tell you like, who do you have in mind? And then I'll give my honest opinions on people. I'll say you should try this guy. If you like him, yeah, I trust Todd. Or if someone asks me about Michael Sartain, like he's a good guy. I know him, stuff like that. I give you guys my honest opinions. If you're worried about someone who you think might be a scammer and you want to run it by me, go ahead. People do that, and I'm happy to fucking help. I earn no money from doing such a thing, but I just like to help people. It's just an ethical thing. John Anthony lifestyle game sexual assault. Yeah. Instructor of pickup. Literally in the court documents. Instructor of pickup. How could you be more lame? Let me just clarify for some of the pickup autists listening to this. There's nothing wrong with pickup. But there is something wrong or a lot wrong with sexual harassment. And those are different things. But pickup itself is just dating, stage one of game. Pickup is dating. So you're not a pickup coach, you're a dating coach. There's nothing wrong about pickup, but there is something really wrong about John Mulvehill's game. Holy fuck. It's just creepy and dangerous and, as we like to say in English, rapey. Creepy. I mean, I get that taste is subjective and all, but the girls he shows off wouldn't even be able to get a job at a Hooters. And Hooters isn't exactly a high bar these days. I remember that. Like, I remember someone mentioning that standards have gone down at Hooters. I haven't even been to a fucking Hooters before. But I'll try to find one in Vegas next time I go or something. I don't know much about it, but I started seeing like their marketing and there will be like overweight women. Oh man, standards have gone down. Similar thing happened with Playboy. And I hate the fact that I never really been to any races or tournaments or things like that. I was in Vegas when Formula One was first there, and that everything was a disaster. But a few years back, they stopped the whole like rally goals or whatever it is, like the women who are hired as models to like wave the flag or whatever their fucking job is. Their job is to look pretty. And that's good for men and it's good for women. The women get jobs, they get paid for it. And it's good experience. And similarly, they do like in wrestling, they have the girls who come on with like round one, or boxing too, maybe. I don't particularly watch those things, but I want to live in a society where that tradition is preserved. It's not a bad thing. It's nice to have a magician having a glamorous assistant. Feminism shouldn't mean let's get rid of models. My daughter was in a commercial at the age of 5, and she was on TV, and I got the video, and it's really cool. Now, like screen time is like 3 seconds, but still, that's a cool thing. But anyway, yeah, I agree. There's levels and levels above that. Eyes Wide, baby. Eyes Wide was like Gandalf. You shall not pass. I have never watched Lord of the Rings. I did see that's like one of them is on Netflix, in Peru at least. We get different stuff here. But I got this thing with my phone where if I disconnect from the Wi-Fi, it thinks I'm in another country. So if I turn my Wi-Fi off and only use data, I get a second country. But it's weird because like I paid for it in Canada, but it doesn't give me Canadian Netflix for some reason. It just goes to another one. So strange. Yeah, I know the reason for that. Actually. Yeah, I just forgot. Anyway, yeah, I never seen the Lord of the Rings movies. That I have seen recently people say so many good things about it, so that should be top of my list. Once I finish Rocky and Creed, I'm on the last Creed movie right now. But anyway, and now, ladies and gentlemen and female tans, it is time to show perhaps the craziest thing. And this is actually extremely sad. Let me find this. I want to get them in order. So that one begins with G. Let's show this one. So again, this is for the purpose, this is not for the purpose of defamation. This is for the purpose of letting everyone know what creepy behavior looks like and the real dangers of society and the things that John Mulvehill has tried to get away with. And again, I can say here in Peru, because of freedom of expression and the other things I mentioned before, John Mulvehill has a history of sexual harassment. So in this document, 9 pages here, I don't know why it's a bit of a weird software, but I hereby agree to plead guilty pursuant to North Carolina versus Alford, blah, 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 to conspiracy to commit coercion, gross misdemeanor, as more fully alleged in the charging document attached hereto as Exhibit 1. My decision to plead guilty by way of the Alford decision is based upon the plea agreement in this case, which is as follows. Both parties stipulate to informal probation for a period not to exceed 2 years. Defendant agrees to waive any defects in the plea. Defendant agrees to pay a $350 fine, which I think is incredibly low for something like sexual harassment, and to complete impulse control, counseling, and 80 hours of community service work. I hope he served his community, or that community, because that's not where he's from. Defendant also agrees to stay out of the corridor for a period of 1 year, which means the Las Vegas Strip, Las Vegas Boulevard. If defendant successfully completes the orders and stays out of trouble for the pendency of the case, defendant may withdraw plea and plead no contest to disorderly conduct misdemeanor with credit for time served. I agree to the forfeiture of any and all weapons in or any interest in any weapons seized and or impounded in connection with the instant case and or any other case negotiated in whole or in part in conjunction with this plea agreement. I understand and agree that if I fail to interview with the Department of Parole and Probation, P&P, fail to appear at any subsequent hearings in this case, or an independent magistrate by affidavit review confirms probable cause against me for new criminal charges, including reckless driving or DUI, but excluding minor traffic violations, the state will have the unqualified right to argue for any legal sentence and term of confinement allowable for the crimes to which I am pleading guilty, including the use of any prior convictions I may have to increase my sentence as a habitual criminal to 5 to 20 years, life without the possibility of parole, life with the possibility of parole after 10 years, or a definite 25-year term with the possibility of parole after 10 years. Otherwise, I am entitled to receive the benefits of these negotiations as stated in this plea agreement. Now, let's see if this is worth reading. I may be imprisoned in the Clark County Detention Center for a period of not more than 364 days, and that I may be fined up to $2,000. I understand that the law requires me to pay an administrative assessment fee. Let's see. I understand that if appropriate, I will be ordered to make restitution to the victim of the offense to which I am pleading guilty, and to the victim of any related offense which is being dismissed or not prosecuted pursuant to this agreement. I will also be ordered to reimburse the state of Nevada for any expenses related to my extradition, if any. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see if there's... I have more, by the way. It's not just this particular document, but I'm skimming this at this point. You're getting it all on the screen anyway, so even if I miss something important, now's your time to pause and point it out in the comments after the live stream. Voluntariness of plea. I'm losing my ability to speak here. Let's see. Here we go. Signature 2015. Now let's do the next one. Let's remove that and do this one. Okay. This one, there we go. Here we go. Stephen B. Wolfson, District Attorney within and for the County of Clark, State of Nevada, in the name and by the authority of the State of Nevada, informs the court that John Mulvehill, the defendant named above, having committed the crimes of first-degree kidnapping, Category A, felony, coercion, Category B, felony, and open or gross lewdness, gross misdemeanor, on or about the 29th day of May 2013 within the County of Clark, State of Nevada, contrary to the form, force, and effect of statutes in such cases made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state. Count 1, first-degree kidnapping. Did willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously seize, confine, inveigle, entice, decoy, abduct, conceal, kidnap, or carry away Erica Hamilton, a human being, with the intent to hold or detain the said Erica Hamilton against her will and without her consent for the purpose of committing sexual assault. Count 2, coercion. Did then and there willfully, unlawfully, and feloniously use physical force or the immediate threat of such force against Erica Hamilton with the intent to compel her to do or abstain from doing an act which she had a right to do or abstain from doing by carrying the said Erica Hamilton to his vehicle and or grabbing her by the arm and pulling her into his vehicle and or pulling her downward to hide her from view and throwing her phone out of the front floorboard so she could not summon help, calling 911 or messaging her friends, as stated before. Count 3, open or gross lewdness. Did then and there willfully and unlawfully commit an act of open or gross lewdness by exposing his penis and or masturbating in plain view and in the presence of Erica Hamilton. Count 4, open or gross lewdness. Did then and there willfully and unlawfully commit an act of open or gross lewdness by exposing his penis and or masturbating in plain view and in the presence of Stacy Saunders. There's more. Okay, now this one. Here we go. Judgment of conviction, plea of guilty. The defendant previously appeared before the court with counsel and entered a plea of guilty pursuant to this again, to the crimes of conspiracy to commit coercion, gross misdemeanor, in violation of NRS. Thereafter, on the 20th day of January 2015, the defendant was present in court for sentencing with his counsel, Warren Geller, and good cause appearing. The defendant is hereby adjudged guilty of said offenses, and in addition to the $25 administrative assessment fee, $150 DNA analysis fee, including testing to determine genetic markers, a free DNA collection fee, and a free $150 fine. The defendant is sentenced as follows: to 364 days in the Clark County Detention Center, suspended, placed on informal probation for the indeterminate period not to exceed 2 years. Defendant agreed to waive any defects in the plea. Conditions: pay $350 fine during the term of probation. Enter and complete impulse control counseling. Stay out of the strip corridor for a period of 1 year. Court noted for the record that if the defendant successfully completed probation, he would be allowed to return to court withdraw his plea of guilty to the gross misdemeanor violation and enter a plea of guilty to a misdemeanor violation of disorderly conduct with credit for time served. There we go. And there is one more that I would like to show. And this one is here. And where am I? Journal entries, amended information filed in open court. Counsel indicated that the matter had been negotiated and stated the negotiations for the record. Negotiations are as contained in the guilty plea agreement filed in open court. Defendant waived a formal reading of the information. Defendant Mulvehill arraigned and pled guilty to conspiracy to commit coercion pursuant to the Alford decision. State gave an offer of proof. Court accepted plea, adjudged defendant guilty, and ordered, in addition to the $25 administrative assessment fee, $150 DNA analysis fee, including testing to determine genetic markers, a free DNA collection fee, and a $350 fine. Defendant sentenced to 364 days in the Clark County Detention Center, suspended, placed on informal probation for an indeterminate period not to exceed 2 years. Defendant agreed to waive any defects in plea, so pretty much same as before. Let's see if there's more. I think that's basically the same thing. There we go. Okay. So let me close those. And technically there is one more tiny thing I want to show. Somehow it's not coming up strangely. Okay, maybe it's there. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. So someone posted on maybe his Discord server. He's Canadian. They don't take kindly to that stuff either. And it just says John Mulvehill White. That's very funny. Toronto. I wasn't even fucking born there. What the fuck? Yeah, is there like a, I don't know, not even close. Never fucking been there. Oh shit, there's our boy, Richmond. Mark my words, he's going to jail. I already went through it all with the Peruvian law firm. Happy to take your money though. There's nothing he can do to avoid it at this point, even though you lost. Even deleting the videos about me and stopping the defamation, it's already too late. But again, I haven't deleted anything. Everything's there. Nobody ever took anything down from YouTube, from my channel. I've never stood down. I've only defended myself and the honor and protection of public information that was already out there. This man, as I keep saying, has a history of sexual harassment. Arrested for it. I just showed you the documents. I showed news articles, court files, arrest records, and so much more. Even showed comments from years ago, YouTube videos that other YouTubers have made with over 1 million views. This man, by definition, is controversial. He's a public figure. Public figures have less rights here in Peru and has a history of sexual harassment. So there you have it. I can't remember much else I really wanted to say, but if you guys have any questions about this, in a nutshell, just to conclude everything, he tried to sue me and he lost. The Peruvian court completely threw out his case immediately, rejecting it. I won the case and I didn't even know about it for quite some time. And then I was informed of it recently. So there I stand against evil. Only two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not so sure about the universe. Einstein, a good German for once, the only good German we have mentioned today. That could be taken in too many terrible ways. Whatever. Not the Austrian painter. He was not even German. There we go. I am thirsty as hell. I've been talking for 2 hours more. As you can see, I'm not as pretty as I am in the thumbnail. It's just how pretty AI thinks I am. Just like his AI thumbnail of me in a prison. Never been there. It's fake. But once again, I really want to emphasize my point. When someone tries to silence you, they're probably also trying to silence other people. But why do they want to silence you? Why do they want to silence other people? There's a reason. They're covering something up. They don't want people to know. They don't want people to stop giving them money. They don't want people to think of them differently because of their ego. They don't want more people coming forward with negative stories, negative experiences, negative reviews. They want to cover up their evil actions. And they're probably ashamed of their evil actions. They're aware of their evil actions, obviously. That's why they're trying to silence you over that. But yeah, at this point, there aren't that many videos on YouTube that are still up that expose him, because I remember seeing way more videos a few years back, but he would try to sue people and those videos would disappear. And some people would, knowing what he would do, they would preserve those videos that were exposing him because they knew he would try to take them down. So it's important to always collect evidence and have it available, not on your computer, but publicly. So consider this a warning that there are some people out there who will try to rip you apart, try to waste your time, waste your money, say lies about you, try to discredit you on the internet like he tried to do with me. But in the end, I hope that consequences come. He already faced the consequence of his YouTube channel being banned because he wasn't following the policies. He was violating. He was defaming people and then trying to sue people for defamation, which is another matter that YouTube stands against. But that's not exactly what he was banned for. He was banned specifically for consistent harassment. So there we go. Just want to think if there's anything else that I really must have slipped my mind, but I think I pretty much covered everything. But in general, imagine flying thousands of miles to another country. For me, are you insane? That's the most pathetic thing I ever read once I received those documents. He literally flew thousands of miles to try to sue me in a country he doesn't even live in a country that doesn't even speak English. I can't think of a more pathetic thing. Someone leave a comment and tell me one thing that's worse than that. I really can't imagine. Still, let's check these comments. I accidentally clicked that one. I was going for the one before. I got a new mouse. I'm very handsome. There we go. Peak irony. John Anthony built a channel and an entire brand on defaming everyone in the industry. The moment he is critiqued, let me sue for defamation. People have been saying this for years. John's mental health will only get worse and worse. And by the way, I know I was still posting a few clips about him from a bigger video and just distributing those clips still like every Tuesday or something, like late last year or something. I was done. I had nothing more to say. I made my points. He had been banned from YouTube. Justice had somewhat been served. But then he decided to attack me again, just a different way. He tried to sue me in Florida, I think. He tried to sue me in other jurisdictions. Didn't work. So then he came all the way here. Like, hey, let's try Peru. Didn't work. So yeah, go fuck yourself. You're a terrible person. You're covering up your sexual harassment. And now I understand more than anyone why you do that. Because there's probably more. That's the scary part. And I know there's stuff out there. People have privately shown me things, photos of him, videos of him doing some very strange things. And these are the things that cannot possibly be posted on YouTube. And things that aren't really worth talking about. But take it from me, I've seen some crazy shit which really cannot be put on the internet because people showed me them privately. And it's just a real mindfuck. But seriously, it's way worse than you fucking think. But yeah, I was done with this whole thing. For me, it was just a matter, it started as he's lying about me, so I'm just going to defend myself. He made a video about me, I made a video about him. When he made a video about me, he was just lying and harassing me and my family and making things up. And my video response was just like, show us your YouTube studio statistics. And he never did because it was fake. He was faking his YouTube stats. And then things got crazier. But all for this, I was never malicious. I never lied about him. I never made things up about him. He did that to me plenty of times. I don't need to do that. Hell, there was so much material on YouTube alone from other people saying things. And I was aware about it before. But I didn't realize how crazy and how true the vast majority of it was until shit hit the fucking fan. So yeah, I was done. He was removed from YouTube. There was no need to post any more stuff. I still had some clips, so they were just like scheduled after that. And then no more. So I didn't expect to make another video on this. And I genuinely, John, if you're watching, this is our chance to just stop. Okay? This is it. We don't need to go any further than this. Just calm down. Get your hand off your dick. Put it on your nipple or heart or something. Calm yourself down. Breathe in. We know you breathe through your mouth a lot. Deep breaths, okay? Deep breaths. Relax. It's all over now. You can calm down. Relax. I'm done. We don't need to do this anymore. We all know you have a history of sexual harassment. It's all established. It's all out there. Just accept the L that was in John Anthony Lifestyle. Take the L and live with it for the rest of your life. Just like your victims have to live with the memories of dealing with you. They have to live with that. You have to accept defeat. Accept defeat on YouTube. Your free channels that were removed. Accept defeat in the court and the other court and the other court. All the courts who tried to sue me in multiple countries, multiple continents. Take the L and just go home. Go back to Brazil or go back to the USA if you want and just retire. That's my advice to you. Typical sociopathic behavior. Deny every allegation, admit no wrongdoing, make false accusations accusing others of exactly what you were actually doing. Exactly my point, which I kept making for a long time. Rebrand to avoid consequences. Oh no, point number 3, you fucking nailed it though, because in the English language, we have this word called hypocrisy. You're a hypocrite. If you're an arsonist and you see someone burn down a house and you accuse him of being an arsonist, you're a hypocrite because you're an arsonist yourself. He burned down a house, but so did you. So you're a hypocrite. But like I have said many times before, maybe the German language has a word for this. Is there a word for beyond hypocrite, where you accuse someone else of something you are guilty of and they are not guilty of it? So you're accusing someone else of something you have done that they haven't done. Is there a word for that? I really want to fucking know. Like, we should make one. Like, John Anthony Lifestyle's legacy would be that in the dictionary, there's a random German word that means beyond hypocrisy, that you accuse someone of doing something that you did that they didn't do. That would be his legacy. I think that's a good legacy for him to have. He's a human. He's an example. Exactly. He bashes everyone. For me, the reason I bring up his streetwalker stuff, because he bashes others as being less hot than his female tents. What else is there? Thing worse is that he puts one with HIV. Man, I don't even know. MGAI cover on your mantle in the background. That's not. Yeah, I gotta get used to this. This is my first time streaming in a while, and this is my new office. There it is. Yeah, what the fuck am I doing? That's not MGAI. That's Message Game. The Message Game, the book. So MGAI was effectively the sequel to this, but not as a book, as an artificial intelligence wingman. So lots of the data comes from the book. Lots of data with MGAI comes from the book, but also we have massive pools of data from other places. So that's something that other AI tools don't have specifically for messaging women on Tinder. So if you want to grab yourself free usage, go to the MGAI website and put that code in. Use code MessageGameCoach on MGAI. Let me type this in. This would be better. So go to that website, acme.co/go/MGAI, code MessageGameCoach. free access for 2 months. No strings attached. You got to put in your information, but literally 7-day free trial regardless. And if you use that code, you get to use it for free for 2 entire months. So just have some fun. And if you like it, keep using it. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Someone who is obsessed with saying every coach is banging frees, unlike his 10s. You'd expect at least something closer to a Victoria's Secret model, not girls that look like Walmart cashiers. Let me think of the Walmart cashiers I have dealt with before. No, I can't think of a single one that stands out. McDonald's cashiers, that's a different story, I'm pretty sure. John is very mentally ill in place. I'm in it, but I don't even know what that is to game. I don't even know what that is. Glad to have you back in the fight. I never left. I don't give up. Is he really a mouth breather? Oh my God. Is he really a mouth breather? I really can't relate because as a Jew, I have such a big nose. It's just, have you seen my nostrils? They're so fucking big. I don't have to worry about breathing through my mouth. Maybe when swimming or something, I don't know. Yeah, good message game book, very useful AI tool as well. Here we go. I think we're pretty much done here. I think I have covered everything. He lost once again. What more needs to be said? And honestly, genuinely, I don't want to make more of these videos. I just want to spend time with my family. Add cool things to my new office here. This was literally just finished a few days ago on Saturday. I was like, what? Why the fuck are you taking so long to do this? But anyway, I'll show you a few things, maybe. Let's see this. I was out in Chinatown in Lima, which is like the worst Chinatown I have ever seen because it's like there's hardly anything Chinese about it. And I just saw this statue and it was like, what the fuck? It looks like me. So see if you know what I mean. Look at the nose. Literally me. I just need to grow this a little bit more. Grow this a bit more. Literally me. Look at that. That's me. Literally me. Got my nose and everything. So I instantly, even though it's a religious thing, I'm not a religious guy. I was like, I'm just going to buy it. It looks like me. So that's cool. This one, this looks like nothing important or anything. It's just you see there, that's the Ignite logo, Dan Bilzerian's company, or I don't think he's associated with it anymore. I don't know what happened. So in Dan Bilzerian's mansion, he has like hundreds of these fucking things. And I joked with him because I picked one up and I grabbed 2 extra just for the fun, so I can have this as a little gift for myself that I stole from his house. Somewhere on this, yeah, it says best by August 2022. And when I was there, when I got this, it was the end of 2023. So I joked with him, like, wait a minute, why does this water expire? Does it have Plan B in it or something? And the joke went over his head. And he was like, I sir, you stupid. It's water. It doesn't. I know. That's the fucking joke. Why is there a fucking best before on the fucking water then? So, and because he had fucking hundreds of them around, I was like, how fucking many did he fucking like reduce of these things, because if this is really fucking expired, how much, like, he must have had years worth of that shit. So stole it from his house. Don't tell him, please. But yeah, it's got the Ignite branding on there, and I haven't opened it, but I got enough of it. What else? Got lots of these, but different colors. These are custom made, so nobody else has these. Sometimes I get messages, and a woman is like asking, "Where did you get them?" And I just say, "Well, it's the only one on the planet, so it was custom made." The other ones aren't unique, but this one's unique. The other ones you'll see on the channel before, different ones. Anyway, the medication gets, yeah, I wouldn't even know. I am such an anti-medication guy. It is, I don't know a damn thing. I failed biology in high school, I think. And I know nothing about that kind of shit. Are you a secular Jew? So I'm guessing I know what that means, but my great-great-great-grandfather or something like that was chief rabbi in Europe, and seems like a big deal or something. Like it was literally like the very, I don't know how it works. I don't know a damn thing about Judaism or stuff like that. But I see lots of these pranks now coming out on Instagram and other places, where these random people are just going up to Jews and just like hanging out with them and asking them questions and stuff. And it's pretty funny. I was like, oh, that would be perfect for me if I like make another channel or something. I'd be like, hey, I'm a long lost Jew. Can you teach me something? I'm not going to be malicious about it. Some of these pranksters are. But I thought it was kind of funny because they do it in like New York and in these Jewish neighborhoods, and they do these funny Jewish prank videos. I don't even know what they say half the time, but it's really interesting because I do kind of want to learn more. But I'm an atheist. I live in a Catholic country, and I used to be a super hardcore atheist, but I guess my thoughts have kind of changed in a way, because I looked at it similar to communist atheism, which is basically God doesn't exist, or religion is a scam or something like that. But in recent years, I have realized religion, I still have a lot of criticisms of it, but it does have advantages. And I see that more and more as time goes on, especially in the last year. So it seems to be that religion, especially in countries like Peru here, there's a very heavy emphasis on religion. Religion has kept some cultures aligned, like Peru, to the importance of family. Whereas my culture, atheism leads to decadence. My culture, who cares? Liberalism, do whatever you want. Kill whoever you want. Nothing matters. You'll be arrested if you commit murders, but God will not judge you because he doesn't exist. So really, in this life, you can do whatever you want. No consequences. It's just humans against each other. And it's a little bit of a, maybe it's chaos, maybe it's not. I don't want to say it's chaos, but there has to be some kind of cultural alignment with values that actually matter. And where Catholics are concerned, family matters. And to me, that's not something I believed that mattered until I realized that it does. So there may come a time where you get that kind of perspective, but still. My version is essentially God is real. It's just not some white guy who looks like me but with white hair in the clouds doing random stuff. God is the universe itself. I think it was Descartes. I can't remember. It was years ago when I studied philosophy. Some European philosopher, I think, said something along the lines of God is that than which there is nothing greater. And maybe there were two words after that, something like the perfect being or something. I like to take the idea of God is that than which there is nothing greater. Okay, so God is the universe itself. I am part of the universe, therefore I am God. My headphones are God. These are new. So nice and cool. They light up and everything. My mouse is God. My microphone is God. My phone is God. So that's my take on it. That than which nothing greater can possibly be conceived, something like that. That was something like the wording. Do you meditate? No. I only ever tried it once because one of the former co-founders of Game Global convinced me into it to do it in public for 1 hour. I was like, I'm up for any fucking challenge back then, so whatever. Doesn't really do anything for me, I guess, but I never really gave it a chance. So I suppose that maybe I do have a misunderstanding of what it is. Because there was a time a few years ago when I was just staring at the ceiling. And in our modern society, we don't give ourselves time to stare at the ceiling, stare at the wall, and just think. If you're part of a big family or you live with other people, you generally never get a moment to yourself. But there is scientific evidence that there are benefits to being by yourself for 30 minutes, something like that, at night. And there was also something interesting I saw about how we have been kind of programmed to wake up in the middle of the night for 1 hour and then go to sleep again. And it's not euphoric, but it's an interesting time of the morning or night for brain activity. And back to my initial point, there was a time a few years ago when I was staring at the ceiling and I got the greatest idea I have ever had. And I come up with amazing ideas all the fucking time. But they have kind of faded over time since I don't get to take the time to stare at the ceiling instead of the phone. So I think there is value somewhere, but not in the traditional understanding of what people think meditation is. I think I would personally value just like staring at the ceiling for half an hour, 1 hour, once a week. Because I kind of tried to do that a few years ago. I called it monetization time. And I put on a special light that shows like a projection of the stars, basically. Just stare at the ceiling and think about more ways to make money. But that's a very shallow version, of course. So I think maybe there is some value to be had. I haven't had time to go to the barber, obviously. Had to get so many things delivered. It's insane. But anyway, I think there's value somewhere, just not in the format people associate it with. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is also a classic. God is the screen. Reality is the movie. We're supposed to say movie? Yeah, movie. Takes consistency. Yeah, so that's my version of it at least, but that's not something I have done for a long time. But these lights, I made sure to install lights here that have special functions. Because when I used to work for Google, we came out with a Google Home, and they connected with Philips Hue lights. So I was always thinking that would be a cool thing to have at some point in the future once I stop renting or whatever. So let's try this. I can't really see it because I got a light on here too. And I can't close the window at the moment. Blue. Oh, there we go. That's very obvious. So the Japanese installed blue lights in the Tokyo Metro subway. Can't remember what they call it. And they found that it decreased the number of suicides. So it was very interesting. Blue light in Japanese subways. So that's a very cool one. I could go pink. This probably shows up as purple to you though. I can do Christmas lights. Yeah, there we go. Romance. I like to use that one. Alarm. Just flashes. Ocean. This would be very cool for a bathroom or something. There are also ones like fireplace, Halloween, plant growth. It's like purple. Focus, which is like slightly yellow. TV time, which is blue. I was using that yesterday. That was cool. Night light. It's kind of like orangey. Bedtime, wake up. Yeah. Let me turn the light in. There we go. Back to normal. So there we go. Yeah, I don't quite make my point though. The point was I've been trying to use these to get back into that. So it's a funny time you mention it, I suppose. But I do have a family to run to. Time to set aside and just listen to your brain. All right, let's leave it there. That's nearly 3 hours. It's getting very hot in here. I'm very thirsty. I'm getting hungry. Said everything that I need to say. But I just urge you guys to put in the comments your experiences, your messages for me. And seriously, if there's something strange going on, regardless of the industry, report it. Make sure you report it. And then, catch you on the other side. I'll try to line up some more live streams soon because I've been away for a few weeks. Didn't really have any uploads for a long time. Now we're getting back into things. Normal uploads begin tomorrow. And we're going to try setting up a debate between Mr. Ricario and Arashti Bazaar and some other debates and stuff like that. Any debates you want to see, put it in the comments. Why did this whole thing start in the first place? Because I invited John Anthony Lifestyle to a debate and he got mad and started being homophobic, even though I'm straight. So that's how this all started. It makes no sense, but catch you guys on the other side. Drop your comments, drop your support. I will get that money back one way or another. I will be seeking compensation from this monster of a man.